The Cowboys OT is brought to you by Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys. And by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com.
The 2024 NFL and Dallas Cowboys season comes to a close with a wild ending yet again against the Washington Commanders. This time, Washington is the victor. 23-19 the final as the Cowboys fall, and they finish the season at 7-10 overall. Welcome to Cowboys OT alongside Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. The hay is now in the barn for the Cowboys 2024 campaign, and the season has come to a close. Now it's decision time for the Cowboys because there's a lot of upcoming one way or the others that are going to continue to build what this season and what this franchise is going to be remembered for.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes. I mean, a lot of players and coaches are on expiring deals or one-year contracts, so there will be a lot of change. But I will say this, I like how this team fought this afternoon. You know, the guys that were able to go out there and play, you saw a lot of the cornerstone pieces not being involved in this ball game, but you saw guys like Trey Lance, Deuce Vaughn, those guys step up and show you what they have as a whole out there. And so to me, once again, that goes to the credit to Mike McCarthy, who once again, no matter what's been laid in front of him, injury-wise, ups and downs as far as the season is concerned, he's been able to go out there and get the most out of his players. So I love that about it, but like this season has been in totality, just a little too late in this situation, especially with this game. But overall, I love the team fight out there, and we'll see what this team brings next year.
The season is over. Now that all the decisions, the hard decisions have to be made. I'm hoping Coach McCarthy comes back. I hope they can continue to grow and to get better. They know who the players are. This coaching staff know who the players are. I think it's going to be some changes within the coaching staff. Coach McCarthy is fortunate enough to stay, but we got to get things in place real quick so that we'll know who we want to keep on this roster, who you're going to spend the money on, because you don't want to wait. You want to make sure you solidify this thing and give yourself a chance going into the draft, which Kyle will be hosting in the draft.
We'll have plenty to talk about in terms of the NFL draft. Right now, the Cowboys sitting at the 11th overall pick.
Hey, and you got Micah, what pick?
12.
Okay. So
you got some guys. You're good. Some guys there.
In regards to today, I'm glad that they were able to get a good look at Trey Lance. I like Trey Lance. I know that he got a bad rap from his last preseason game when he had the 5 interceptions, all that jazz. But I think that he has all the things that you look for in a quarterback. He just needs more development, needs more coaching. And you can say, well, when is he going to get these things? Well, that's for the coaches to figure out. But in regards to today, I'm glad they were able to see him. In regards going forward, to these guys' point, there's a lot of changes that are going to happen, whether Coach McCarthy returns or he leaves. There's going to be a ton of changes, not only with the coaching staff, there's going to be a ton of personnel changes as well. Guys are not going to be retained. You heard about the 26 guys that are free agents, unrestricted. You're not going to return all those guys. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but you're not going to get all those guys back. There's some really good players on this team that have been huge contributors for you, not only this season, but over the years, that you might lose because of the fact that they've played themselves to a position where they deserve to get a big contract, and the Cowboys just don't have that salary cap flexibility. So a lot of change coming, and I'm sure that we'll be here to present it all to you.
Yeah, we've got a lot going on throughout the next couple of months. Now, Jerry Jones did talk to the media after the game, and one of the quotes I think sums it all up right now for the coaching decisions, the player personnel decisions, and even decisions in the front office as a whole. Anything is possible was his quote. So there's a lot still to be decided for the Cowboys. Here's how the final game of the regular season was decided. Trey Lance at quarterback, first start since week 2 of 2022 in his second season in San Francisco. Micah Parsons entered the game needing a half sack to become the 4th player to have 10 sacks in his first 4 seasons. He gets half a sack on the first play from scrimmage on the defensive side of the ball. What did he do to clean it up and make sure that he did get that second sack? Oh, he found another one. He finished the day with 2.5 sacks. He gets to double figures, the 4th to do it since 1982. He followed it up with both of those after Dallas led by 3 at the end of 1. They add another field goal. Brandon Aubrey doubles the lead up, 6-0 Cowboys midway through the second. Washington trying to find their groove on the offensive side of the football. Cliff Kingsbury dials up some trickery. How about this? The wide receiver pass, it works to perfection, but it's dropped in the end zone. Olamide Zaccheaus, who never really finds the ball, drops a sure touchdown. Washington has to settle for a field goal. Final moments of the second, Lance and the Cowboys on the doorstep, 4th and goal. He works out of pressure, rolls out to his left, but leaves it short to Rico Dowdle. An unfortunate break, Isaiah, that would have been a touchdown for Dallas.
It would have been nice. He just tried to be a little bit too careful, and when you try to be too careful, you don't trust your instincts. When you don't trust your instincts, your mechanics go out the window.
6-3 Dallas at the halftime break. Commanders come out firing to start the third quarter behind the backup, Marcus Mariota. Opening drive of the frame, Mariota finds Zaccheaus for a little bit of redemption. 30 yards gets Washington inside the 5-yard line. Next play, roll out, Zach Ertz, end zone. He's done that a couple times against the Cowboys throughout his career. They have a 1-point lead. Dallas trailing for the first time, mostly due to red zone struggles. That would continue. Jake Ferguson lofted up back of the end zone. He thought he got a foot down. He did not. 3rd down and goal. One more try. Brandon Cooks. He can't get a foot down. They throw a flag anyways. Dallas settles for another field goal. They lead it by 2. Washington end zone. Marcus Mariota puts the Commanders back on top on their ensuing possession. Dallas needed an answer. They found one right about the 7-minute mark to go. Rico Dowdle barrels his way in. 2nd rushing touchdown of the year puts Dallas up late. Final chance for Washington. 4th and 1. The read option for Marcus Mariota has him take off with under 30 seconds to play. Keeps the hopes alive, and instead of going for a field goal, they locked it up to Terry McLaurin in the back of the end zone. He goes over the top of Deron Bland, gets both feet down, secures possession. Touchdown Washington, and just like the crazy ending at Landover the last time these two met, it was a crazy ending again as Washington ends the regular season 12-5. Dallas at 7-10. They take it 23-19, and Dan Quinn's return to AT&T Stadium. Here are the final stats brought to you by Miller Lite. An unfortunate ending for the Cowboys. Some fans out there clamoring for draft position. We talked about it currently at 11 or 12, depending on San Francisco's results coming up later in the weekend. But overall, still a lot to play for. Cowboys showed some heart. Did not end up with the win at the end of the regular season. We've got more reaction coming up, including Mike McCarthy. Could this be his final podium as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys? We'll see if we learn anything when we come back with more Cowboys OT.
This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome to Cowboys OT. The Cowboys fall in the final game of the 2024 season. They finish at 7-10. 23-19, the final against the Washington Commanders at AT&T Stadium. Let's go back out to Arlington. Hear from head coach Mike McCarthy as he heads to the podium.
Well, really, it was going through my mind. It's the end of the year. I mean, this was our last game. So that's really what I was focused on. Just make sure I had an opportunity to see everybody when they came in the locker room.
Did Jerry say anything about the plan going forward at all?
No. We have meetings tomorrow in the morning with the players, but we'll get together here in the near future.
Tim Kalish, Dallas Morning News. Do you feel like your body of work after 5 years suggests you should be back for another year?
Oh, I've a lot of confidence in myself as a head coach, but I think like anything. Body of work, the statistics. I think it's more about the program, the details of what needs to be done. How can we get better? All those things go into these decisions of whether you originally get the job or continue to move forward. So I'm definitely in a position with Jerry to move the program forward. I mean, there's no question about that in my mind. So that's why these conversations need to happen here in the near future.
Do you feel good about the way the team played the last half of the year, including like today when you're going to win with 2 seconds to go?
Yeah, I don't want to take anything for granted because I understand why you're asking the question, but I mean that's the way we're supposed to play. As far as the energy and the commitment. So and that's what the players expect from the coaches, and that's what every coaches expect from the players. So for us to go out there and compete and finish our commitment, that's to me was a given. I felt in some ways that game was a little bit of a microcosm of our season. Just it goes all the way down to the last play. So, yeah, a lot of good things happen in the game, for young players, but the little things that we didn't do, was part of the reason why we didn't win the game. So, but I was happy with the fact that some of the guys were able to play that really didn't have much of an opportunity. So, but I was pleased with the way the team competed today.
Mac Engel, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Now that the season's over, this answer may be different. Is your first preference, Mike, to remain as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I have a lot invested here. And the Cowboys have a lot invested in me. And then there's a personal side to all these decisions. So, they all point in the right direction. But, I think anytime you invest your time, energy, your belief, the connection you have, the relationships that are in place here, the understanding of what the organization can do and is willing to do, that those are all positive attributes that, you take into account. But, absolutely, I'm a builder. I believe in building programs. I believe in developing young players. So at the end of the day, it is about winning. And you have to have those components in place to get this thing where it needs to be, and I think we have a very good foundation there.
A very perspective answer from Mike McCarthy. I liked what he had to say there, talking about how there are elements to this that are business oriented, and really that is tied with wins and losses, plain and simple. He's won in the regular season outside of this year in 2020. He has not won in the postseason. He's 1-3 in playoff games so far as the head coach with the Cowboys. Isaiah, I'll start with you. Just when it comes to Mike McCarthy and what he's done here, the impact has been felt. Do you feel like it's enough for him to stick around in the future?
I think that he's done enough to retain his job and get an extension. I'm not sure that the organization will feel that way. I would hope that they would value why they brought him in. And why they brought him in was because of the fact that he's won a Super Bowl. He's been a winning coach in the past. When he came here, he built that winning culture again. And, up until this season when he faced a lot of turmoil because of the injuries and the new acquisition of a new defensive coordinator, things just were hard this year. But you look past look to his last 3 years, his body of work, yeah, absolutely. He deserves a chance to go forward. I'm just not sure that the organization feels comfortable and confident with that. Sometimes when you know what you're going to get out of somebody, you're kind of curious and you have FOMO of what may be if you were to go another direction. So who's to tell right now if the Joneses feel comfortable and confident with who they have, or if they have a little bit of FOMO in regards to what's out there?
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on this one, Isaiah. I feel as though Mike McCarthy has done an amazing job basically keeping this locker room intact. And it's not just happened this year. A couple years ago when he lost Dak Prescott for those games and he had to go in there and fill in with Cooper Rush, no one really knew what Cooper Rush could bring to the table, and he was able to go out there and help this team go to 4-1. This team this season, with all the injuries and trials and tribulations they went through, he was able to keep those players fighting each and every game. And to me, that holds a lot of weight when your locker room sides with the coach. I understand, players, they go here, they go there, and their choices maybe not, what the organization wants, but you got to hear them out. And to me, they spoke loudly with their play on the football field this year, even though with all the injuries they had, they fought for Coach Mike McCarthy, and I believe that has to hold a lot of weight. No one up here understands or knows what the future holds for Mike McCarthy, but to me, I think he's one heck of a coach and deserves another chance back here with the Star.
I'm not going to repeat what these guys said because you know my position from the first day, how I feel about Coach McCarthy. I just think that when you had all the injuries and we weren't able to go out there and get some impact players to try to keep this thing afloat, you got what you got this type of season. Okay, now he's already said that he's a builder. He's willing to take the hits. Now, as an organization, you got to go out and give him the players and re-sign the right guys. I mean, you can't re-sign all 26 of them, but you got to re-sign the most impactful out of those few guys that you are going to sign. So, I believe in this guy. I think he's on the right track. You just have to get him some players, or the players have to stay healthy.
I think it's interesting. You guys have all played in the NFL. There are plenty of people that have been around this building and been in the building and been with the players and the coaches that are representing the Cowboys from this past season. It was not an easy season for anyone to cover or to play or to coach for this team because of the slow start period before injuries even became a factor, and coming off of the year that they had last year. So much expectation and so quick of a downfall up against that Green Bay game in the wild card. Yet there's a consistent message through you guys who have been in the media, those that have been on the field and in the locker room and talking to the media, that there is a resounding effort to play and keep Coach McCarthy to the future, despite his contract that expires on January 14th. So that's something that speaks very loudly. Is it enough for the front office to hear? We will see that moving forward. Now, the Cowboys did get a look at Trey Lance at quarterback. How did he perform in his first start since 2022? We'll talk about QB3 when we come back.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back to Cowboys OT here from the Star in Frisco. Let's go back out to AT&T Stadium where we hear from Trey Lance at the podium talking through his first start since the 2022 season.
Trey, could you talk about your game today?
Yeah, I mean, disappointed, obviously. Anytime, I didn't feel like I capitalized to the best of my ability on the opportunities in the red zone. So anytime, you don't score enough points to win. When our defense plays as well as they did, just disappointed. But at the same time, unbelievably thankful for the opportunity. Thankful for all my teammates and coaches, everyone in this organization has done everything for me in these last 2 years. It's been a ton of fun, learned a ton. Just excited for these guys. Super proud of these guys, and anytime you're playing in a situation like that where it's the last one and everyone knows it, I'm just unbelievably thankful for these guys and what they put into it, this week and every week.
When did you find out you would start, and how were you able to prepare for that, or you always prepared just in case?
Yeah, I think, as a backup quarterback life, you prepare the way like you're going to play. I found out pretty early in the week, but yeah, obviously was excited for the opportunity.
Can you talk about what you felt the first half? Were you nervous at all, or were you out about business? And I know there's some throws you probably want to take back, but you also made some plays with your legs and with your arm.
Yeah, I think the nerves settled pretty quick. I felt prepared for this opportunity, and like I said, man, just disappointed we didn't make the most of it. Disappointed I didn't make the most of my opportunities in the red zone specifically. But yeah, obviously was excited for that opportunity.
Understanding what you're saying about the red zone, maybe not going the way that you wanted to, do you feel like in totality the performance you put on the field was a better representation of who you can be in this league?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime I get the opportunity to play against another team's starters, it's something I want to do, and obviously put good stuff on tape. I'm excited to go home and watch it tonight and learn a lot from it. Some good things, some bad things, but a ton to learn for sure.
Here's a look at the offensive stats led by Trey Lance, of course, at quarterback for the first time for significant portions of the game throughout the 2024 campaign. Back here with Barry Church, Nate Newton, and Isaiah Stanback. Barry, I'll start with you. Trey Lance, of course, people were excited to see the opportunity, get him back into the fold. What did you feel about his debut as the starter this year?
I thought he showed some promise, and he definitely had a couple good moments out there. But that was my only issue with Trey Lance was the consistency. He's shown flashes in the pan before. In the preseason, he's shown flashes in this game. It's just the consistency when it comes to Trey Lance, and I think he just needs someone to help him go out there and develop throughout a season, and you can get the most out of him because the athletic ability is there, the arm strength is there. He just has to fine-tune a couple things here and there, and I think you'll get the best version of Trey Lance. Did he do enough today to warrant, coming back and battling for that backup position? I'm not so sure, but overall, I think he did a decent job today in this game.
I'm just glad that he got a chance to throw the ball. I mean, the last time we saw him, he was running all over the place, throwing interceptions. But I think this time they gave him a concentrated game plan that he digests pretty well. He threw the ball. Isaiah can probably speak to you a little bit more on his accuracy or the timing of it, but he looked pretty good to me, and he got the ball out into the people he was supposed to.
Yeah, Trey Lance just needs more coaching. That's what I keep coming back to. You just heard Barry talk about how he has everything. He has all the intangibles. He has the footwork. He has the size. He has the speed. He has the strength. He has the velocity. He can make all the throws, all the things. So if you have all those things and you just lack reps and you lack opportunities, it's not just a lack of reps. What am I receiving? What information am I getting? What coaching am I getting? What kind of development am I achieving by getting those reps and with those reps? What am I concluding there? You need coaching. You need coaching. And a lot of people can look to Coach McCarthy. Coach McCarthy, yeah, he's an offensive coach, but he's also the coach of all the rest of the coaches. That's his job as of right now, okay, until wherever the decision's
January
made.
14th.
Yeah, it's January 14th. His job is to coach the coaches, okay? The position coaches' jobs are to coach those individuals. And that's what he needs. He needs somebody that's going to challenge him, that's going to be in his ear, that's going to be in his corner, that's going to gas him up and give him all the confidence in the world so that he can start making better decisions. So he's not second-guessing himself, so that he's not waiting for guys to get open before he can use his arm strength. Once he gets all the coaching, he'll start applying those things, and then the opportunities that he gets, he'll start making exponential jumps.
Also, he needs a coach to give him a contract because he's an unrestricted free agent going into the offseason, and they have to see whether or not he's worth bringing back to Dallas as a backup to Dak Prescott moving forward. All right, we flip our attention to the defensive side of the ball right after this. Micah Parsons speaks to the media. Always must-watch television after a loss. We'll hear what Micah had to say right after this. Kyle Yeoman's back here with Cowboys OT. Of course, I said it going into the last break. It's must-watch television when Micah Parsons takes to the media following a win or really a loss with the Cowboys either way. Does he think Mike McCarthy should return? Here's his thoughts on the coaching staff and possibly if he's one of the top 3 players in the NFL right now. Here's Micah.
And you also wanted the double-digit sacks, didn't you?
Yeah, I told you I was going to get that. I don't think it was ever in question.
And you took care of it right away.
Yeah, right away. I wasn't going to play with it.
When you reflect on this season, what do you think will stand out when you think back to the 2024 Dallas Cowboys?
I think it's something that we should be proud of. You know, I think this is a team that could have easily just said, man, we could throw in the towel, not care. But I'm proud that we all came in every day with purpose to get better, to keep trying. Even to this last game, keep trying to the end of the whistle. Yeah, we came up short to a playoff team, but like I said, that's a playoff team, and we're a broken team right now. You know, a lot of Pro Bowlers and all pros out, dismantled team. So I would say, man, I'm really proud. Like, I know it's not something proud of to have a losing record and not be in playoffs, but how we finish and how we carried ourselves as men and as teammates, I'm proud of that.
We talked a lot about contracts here and it's taking a long time, especially big contracts. Would you like to be taken care of sooner rather than later?
Yeah, for sure, because then, you know, I don't want to hold nobody up. You know, I want to see some of these guys be back in this locker room. We have a great opportunity. You know, I want to see change. I want to see players here. You know, I want to, like, be as aggressive as we can be. And, you know, I don't want to be a headache to nobody, you know. I want to, you know, be as aggressive as possible.
There's no question care of before you go to offseason for that contract.
Yeah, I would think so, or hope so.
There's no question this is where you want to be.
Yeah, this is where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? I called upon the star. I landed on it. You know, I'm grateful. I feel like I got one of the best jobs in America. You know, I'm just super grateful for the opportunity that Jerry Jones gave me. And, you know, I don't take it for granted. Every time I'm on that field, I really try to take advantage of every opportunity, man. I don't take it for granted at all.
At the start of the game today, you making a statement to anyone that says, hey, I'm one of the best in the business of what I do?
Yeah, if you're going one-on-one me, yeah, I'm the best in the business. You know what I mean? If you're going after that, you know, I saw a bunch of triple teams, so I was like, okay, now we back to regular programming. But, you know, that's part of the game. And, you know, I think, honestly, man, like, I get Myles Garrett's a freak of nature. We're different freaks in our own way. But, you know, I can't say that there's 3 or 4 people better than me in this league. You know, I missed 4 games. And I put up the same numbers as some of these guys who played all year. And to be that close and where I'm at right now, I'm proud of myself for how I came back and how I attacked treatment and how Hanson, they battle with me every week trying to get me back. So I appreciate my staff and I appreciate my teammates for, you know, every week they're like, hey, how you doing when you getting back? You know, keep pushing me. So I really appreciate my teammates and, you know, the staff, the coaches for believing in me and pushing me to come back.
So Micah Parsons finishes with another multi-sack game and 12 sacks in 13 games for the Cowboys this season. That's a really impressive stat line whenever it's all said and done. And one of the knocks against Micah Parsons throughout his career was ending the season in the months of December and January. He ended the season pretty good today. Now, different circumstances, not high leverage games and playoff scenarios. But, Nate, I'll go to you on this one first. Micah's the next one up in terms of a big contract. What did you see from Micah this year, and how much did he mature into a leadership role?
He will get his money. I mean, he talked during training camp about Mozzie, and he stuck with Mozzie. He worked out with Mozzie. He pushed Mozzie. I used to go down to that end of the field. He would be talking to Mozzie. He would be running with Mozzie. Hey, man, we got this drill. Let's do this. So, and he spoke on Mozzie all during the year. I mean, he may not have been a motivational speaker to everybody, but he stayed in his kids' ear. And slowly and gradually, we saw Mozzie as the year be a little bit better. So my hat's off to him for that. Coming off that injury, he could have just been half about doing his job, but he was full speed. 12 sacks in 6, 7 games. Hey, that's a good year.
Yeah, that's really impressive, especially, missing 4 games out there, still putting those sack numbers up there. And to me, you got to pay the man. You got to. I mean, when you look at what he brings to the table, a lot of people talk about quarterbacks being force multipliers and making sure, these wide receivers out there step up their game because their quarterback forces them to. That's exactly what Micah Parsons does on the defensive side of the football. I mean, he's able to garner double team, triple teams, and you see guys like Odigizua. You see guys like Carl Lawson. You see those guys stepping up, winning their one-on-one opportunities, and they get those opportunities because how great of a player Micah Parsons is. So to me, on the field, he's amazing. His leadership style has gotten a lot better as the years gone on. So to me, you got to pay the man.
And we'll see what it is in terms of a lasting impact because of that contract. And this defense certainly benefited from it. Jordan Lewis, very vocal about the fact that Micah returning plays a big factor. Let's hear from Jordan when we come back with more Cowboys OT. Welcome back to Cowboys OT. Let's go back out to AT&T Stadium. Hear from Jordan Lewis, one of the defensive leaders who continued that effort, continued that mentality all the way through the 18 weeks of the NFL season.
I don't know. I don't know where I go from here. I'm just proud of the guys and the way they fought today. The later half of the season, the way they fought, especially on the defensive end, my guys, I'm just proud of the way they played, and I'm happy to be a part of those guys because, even when we were out the playoffs, we just kept fighting. So I'm just proud to be around guys that have pride in what they do.
Jordan, you're one of 22 free agents to be on this team. How do you look at this offseason coming up?
All I do is train. I can't worry about all of that other stuff. I can, speak with my agent, but if a team wants me, a team wants me. If they don't, they don't. All I can do is train and, be ready for the next season and see where I land. And hopefully they could be here.
What have these years with the Cowboys meant to you?
In everything. It showed me how resilient I am as a person. I met some great people and how resilient they are as teammates. So I have some great bonds in Dallas, and I really appreciate Dallas for the opportunity.
In many ways, this is a career year for you under Coach Zimmer and Coach McCarthy. Would you like to see this coaching staff back?
I would love to. Some cohesiveness to what we do on defense. As you saw the later half of the season, we got together and we started playing good ball. So hopefully we can clean up things and see what our identity will be in 2025. But we'll see. We'll see what the talks look like, and hopefully he's here. No problem.
He said he would like to come back to Dallas. That will be a decision again for the Cowboys front office moving forward. We got Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Isaiah, I know you've been very vocal about keeping Jordan Lewis and re-signing him to an extension. He's been a leader for this defense, not just this year, but all the way back into the early parts of his campaign here in Dallas. He spent a lot of time here, overcome a lot here. Do you think he's returning to the Star next year?
I don't. And the only reason why I believe that is because I think that he's played himself to the point, and he's overcome so much in his career. You guys remember him being out for his foot injury. He's overcome all that. He's overcome the different regimes. He's overcome the different defensive coordinators. He's produced every single time, whether they're having winning seasons or losing seasons. He's been the steadfast individual on that defense. he deserves a big payday. And when you have a traumatic injury, right, that is career threatening, and it takes you out for a long period of time, it changes your perspective, and you don't play with house money no more. Now, when you have the opportunity present to you, you get the bag presented to you, you take the bag. At this point, for J. Lou, I would imagine it's less about the team and it's more about I have to take care of me because I've worked so hard for this opportunity. I have to secure it, whether that's in Dallas or somewhere else.
Yeah, I would love, for the Cowboys to be able to bring a guy like J. Lou back into the fold. I mean, he's a glue guy when you talk about this defense. Leadership on and off the field, and then his play on the field is stellar. What he's able to do as one of the top nickels in the National Football League. Then when he had injuries on the outside, whether it's Bland or whether it's Diggs, he was able to transition from nickel to outside corner, and he made it seamless. And that's an extremely hard job to do. But Isaiah was right when he said it, when he talked about it. You only get that one opportunity to really cash in as a player when you talk about free agency. He took the first deal with the Dallas Cowboys, kind of a team-friendly deal. Now you come back, this is a time where you get to hit free agency, and it becomes a bidding war. And when you talk about Jordan Lewis, this is one of the top nickels in the corner or in the National Football League at one of the hardest positions. So there's going to be teams, scratching and clawing to try to get the services of Jordan Lewis. I just hope that he's able to come back with the Dallas Cowboys because he means a lot to this team, both on and off the field.
You cannot lose a guy like Jordan Lewis. You cannot lose Osa. You cannot lose Chauncey Golson. You cannot lose guys like that because they are glue guys, they are depth guys, and they are starters in this league. And you just can't continue to say I'll draft, I'll develop, and I'll sign because now it's time to sign. We cannot lose this young man.
You've been through that before, right, Barry?
Oh, 100%. It happened in 2016 with my year here. I was kind of considered that glue guy, the quarterback of the defense, making sure everybody's lined up. But I also understood that, I got to kind of look out what's best for my family at the end of the day. And there was kind of a bidding war going on, and I chose, the services of the Jacksonville Jaguars because I knew there was only one time in my career where I was going to be able to cash in with that type of money, and I would never be able to see that type of, cash again. So it's a thought process. You definitely got to look and see what systems fit you best because you don't want to go somewhere and, your services, don't match their defense and then you look like a declining player. So you don't want to go down that route. But at the end of the day, you got to look out what's best for your family. J. Lou has a family of his own. So hopefully it's here in Dallas, but best wishes to wherever he does decide to end up going.
We are FCC regulated on this show, so that's real life is what that is. But you know what I'm inferencing whenever it comes to Barry Church and what Jordan Lewis is going through as well. I like the way you use steadfast as well. Sounds like a good business model moving forward. All right, when we come back here on Cowboys OT, let's hear from Tyler Smith. What has that offensive line done to build to the future for the Cowboys? One of the bright spots for the Cowboys this season was Tyler Smith and his play at the guard spot, earning his second straight Pro Bowl bid and an opportunity to represent the NFC. He's also representing the Cowboys offensive line moving into the future. Here's what he had to say about his teammates, the coaching staff, and the future of this Cowboys organization.
We truly found fighters. Like we truly found, guys who are going to, come in and day out, bust their ass, work hard, come to the game, play hard, truly believe in the man next to you. And so, obviously, like you said, we didn't get the finish we wanted, but, I love what I saw from my brothers for sure.
This is the locker room here, the post-game. This team will never be the same. What is that like as an NFL player?
I think it really it hits me harder now that it's year 3. Like when I was in year 1, you're just coming into the building. You don't really know how, things are, how fast the NFL progresses. But now that I've kind of seen people come and go, it builds an appreciation for the people you work with, bro. Like, we come in, we bleed together, we sweat together, we work hard, we depend upon each other. And, we've done great things this season. We've done so many great things. It's just a matter of, will that person be there next year? You can never take for granted, who you have or, what you have on the team because, like you said, it'll never be the same. But definitely love my brothers, Jerry spoke to us. He said the word is forward, so my eyes are towards, tomorrow, what can I do, to make sure that next season is the best season I've ever had,
Tyler Smith, he's just awesome. There's not a whole lot more you can say about it. You can tell the mindset, the mentality, all of it pieced together for a young offensive lineman like that. It may not have been Travis Frederick, Tyron Smith, and Zach Martin out there again this year, but it was Tyler Smith, Brock Hoffman, Cooper Beebe, some positive notes moving into the future. Nate, what were your thoughts about how the offensive line played?
They played good, especially in the last 5 or 6 games. They wasn't super great, but they were gelling. The running game found his legs. And so when you see that right there, and then you see today Austin Riches came in off a high ankle sprain. He'd been out for 4 weeks. He came in today and played well. I mean, he gave up a sack there in the third quarter, but other than that, he played well. They did a job. These guys are playing. Just like the young man said, when you start playing and sweating with your teammates and playing with your teammates and practicing with them every day and seeing that guys are trying to go the right way, you can't go wrong. You don't need a bunch of first-round picks as offensive linemen. But what you do need is bulldogs, people that's going to fight and gel and know what the next man is going to do next to him, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, I felt like this offensive line, they played well and they played better as the season went on. And I felt like you found some pieces in there. We knew Tyler Smith, Pro Bowl caliber player. We knew what he was going to bring to the table. But the BBs of the world, the Brock Hoffmans, the guys that, show fight, week in and week out. I think you found some, I wouldn't say cornerstone pieces, but pieces that you can build upon for this offensive line. Let them gel as a unit, and hopefully, as the years go on, or maybe even next year as the offseason progresses, they can gel, and you won't have to deal with as many injuries, and that can make them a better offensive line overall. But for me, I felt like this line played better as the season progressed and gelled as a unit together.
Everybody has the ability to go buy a dog as a pet, right? But some people buy guard dogs. Right? There's a big difference between having, a pet that sits on the couch and having a guard dog. The Dallas Cowboys were able to find some guard dogs this year by getting Brock Hoffman. They were able to have some guard dogs. Cooper Beebe showed up. You had TJ Bass. Those are dogs that you want to guard the front lines, not just cats that sit on the sideline, not just cats that fill the role of their position as an offensive lineman. These guys are on the team, and they are serving a purpose, and they have the grit and the attitude that you can move forward with regardless of where you were able to pick them up at, whether they're drafted, whether they're undrafted. These are guys that have the character of the type of offensive line you want going forward.
Well, and they've got a dog in the special teams unit as well. His name's Brandon Aubrey. You might as well just call him Brandon All-Pro-Bree, because that's what he's going to end up being at the end of the year. He had another great day today. He caps off a historic season. We hear from Butter Aubrey when we come back.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
The greatest single-season performance by a kicker in Cowboys franchise history came to a close as Brandon Aubrey knocks in 4 more field goals against the Washington Commanders in a 23-19 loss. Let's hear from Brandon Aubrey, because he has another opportunity to come back for Dallas next year. But what does he think about the coaching staff coming back next year?
Coach McCarthy, absolutely. Yeah, he's incredible to play for. I don't interact with him much as a specialist, but he's awesome for us as players. He always has our backs, always kind of brings us together as a unit after wins, losses, whatever it is. He's a great messenger for going into each week. He comes up with a great message for the team and sticks with it. And, I love playing for both McCarthy and Bones.
History with this organization, with how much history there is for this. What does that mean to you, and what goes through your mind when you hear it?
Yeah, haven't really had a chance yet to process it, but it's anytime you're mentioned in the history books, it's a great feeling. It's not something I'm actively seeking out, but just shows that they're giving me a lot of opportunity to succeed, and I'm taking that opportunity.
And reflecting back.
When we had Brandon Aubrey on this same program a couple weeks back, we asked him about that. Do you look ahead to the history books? He was very adamant, no, I do not look at the history books. But he said at the end of the year, I'm going to look back on it, and we'll probably sit down. He said he and his wife will say, this was special. It was a special season to watch. Unfortunate wins and losses, of course, that's going to have a dark cloud over the course of 2024. But my goodness, Nate, it was incredible to watch Brandon Aubrey this year.
The kid is a good kid, and I'm always teasing and messing with him, but they are very important because, like I said earlier on our other shows, it's going to come a day where this team is going to be very competitive. And all those kicks that he's making back in the past, now he'll have the same chance to make them again, but it'll be for a winning situation.
It's huge. a huge asset to have. When you're getting the ball, most likely at the 30-yard line, and you just have to get the ball to the 50-yard line, and you got points. Talk about making 2 first downs. That's what you're asking of your offense. Just 2 first downs, and we have points. There's no other team in this league. I repeat, there is no other team in this league that can say that about their system. Dallas Cowboys can.
Yeah, this guy was the most consistent, dangerous weapon that the Cowboys had on their roster the entire season, from start to finish. Whatever you want to place everybody else, the CDs, the DAX, when you look at Aubrey out there, no matter what, when his number was called, he was able to come through. He's a consistent weapon, probably an all-pro once again this season, and he's a guy that you need in the future. He's one of these building blocks that I talk about. I mean, this is one of those guys. He's a special kicker. Hat goes off to Aubrey, man.
Yeah, what a season it was. It was special to watch, even in person. There were a couple times where you and I pinched each other in the press box because it was what we were taking a look at. All right, we talked offense, defense, special teams on this show. When we come back, we wrap up the 2024 season on Cowboys OT.
To watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. The Cowboys OT was brought to you by Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys. And by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com.
23-19, the final score from AT&T Stadium as Dan Quinn and the Commanders hand the Cowboys their 10th loss of the 2024 season. The campaign has now come to a close, and so will the contracts of many players and coaches in the organization. A long offseason ahead. We're here to break it down for you. Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Glad you're with us. Cowboys OT, final thoughts as we head into the offseason.
2 positions that you need to fill. You need to get yourself a head coach here in the next week or so, or at least make a decision on it, and you better find a way to retain Will McClay.
I like that. But you're right. When you talk about filling this coaching staff, you got to make sure you understand whether you're bringing McCarthy back or not, who's going to be the coaching staff for this team. Then you can figure out the players and the situations after that, but you got to figure out the coaching staff first. We'll see you in the next coming weeks.
I'm with Isaiah. Let's go with Will McClay first, then the players. And, if Coach McCarthy's still here, we know he can build a program.
That's true. That's true. Do you think going into this offseason that final say here, do you think Mike McCarthy's back, yes or no?
That's a tough one.
Not your decision,
not my decision.
Course, and not your opinion, but this is just prediction.
I predict that McCarthy will be back.
Okay.
Next year. I predict he will come back.
See you on the 15th, Coach.
It is.
I wish I want that to be the case.
Be very clear.
I want McCarthy to come back. Let me say I want, because I know some of the staff listens. I want McCarthy back. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. It's still a decision that's going to be made in the near future. We'll see what happens. Jerry Jones talked lengthy with the media today, 45 minutes. No indication on whether or not he's leaning one way or the other. So we'll see what ends up happening over the next couple of weeks. We thank you for joining us throughout Cowboys OT all season long. We'll be back next year. More Cowboys content. Follow us all on DallasCowboys.com. See you next time.